Hi, my dear students. Just last day, you have listened the first lesson of our 8th English reader, the Tattered Blanket. I hope you feel something interesting in your lesson and you are eagerly waiting for the second lesson to learn. I hope your enthusiasm should keep on like this. Knowing it, I have come before you to tell it. I too have great enthusiasm to teach you because you are all my good students and bright students. A real teacher enjoys his teaching to teach the students like you. Right? Shall we enter the lesson? Yes, I know it. You are sitting and ready to learn, ready to listen. So I don't want to waste even a second of your time, and I am making you enter our next lesson, a letter to a friend. A letter to a friend. My dear students, do you have friends? Oh, yes, you raise your hands. See how happiness, how your face are lightening up when I asked about friend. Yes, that is the greatness of friendship. That is the importance of friends. Very good. These, like how you have friends. In our lesson also, two friends are there. My dear students, do you write letters to your friends? Yes. Some people say no. Why? What is the necessity of writing letters, sir? Daily we meet, sir, sitting next to each other, sir. Then what is the necessity of writing letter to all my friends? Good. But some occasions you have to write letters to your friends. Of course, in these modern times, nobody are writing letters after the invention of mobiles. You use mobiles to talk to your friend. There the matter ends. What is the necessity of writing letters, sir? But letter is a letter. It has its own significance. Letter has no other option. There is no substitution for letter, because letter, while writing or while reading the letter, when we get, that feeling is somewhat special. While our eyes running through the letters of the letter, the sentences of the letter, we imagine our friend. See, in so many movies you watch the face of that particular person who writes the letter, seen in the paper, and we read. It's a great feeling. Great. I hope in future there will be an occasion to write a letter to your friend. Then remember me and tell me. Right, coming to the point. A letter to a friend. Who is that friend? Who writes this letter? To whom the letter was written? What are the contents of the letter? What makes him write a letter to his friend? These are the questions before going the lesson. If we answer these questions, the lesson is over. You can have a grip on the lesson. You can make comprehension on your own. Again I am telling. A letter to a friend. Who is that friend? Who has written the letter? To whom he has written the letter? What makes him to write the letter? What are the contents of the letter? Finish. Very simple, my dear students. Very, very simple. Just concentrate on 5 points. Right. In our lesson, 2 friends are there, I told. Who are they? Who are they? One, Suresh. Another one, Ramesh. 2 characters. One is Suresh, another one is Ramesh. These 2 are friends. This Ramesh lives in a village. Ramesh lives in a village. Suresh lives in Hyderabad. Lives in Hyderabad. Actually, both were born in villages. Both were brought up in villages. But he continued higher education. Afterwards, he got a job in Hyderabad. So, he was shifted to Hyderabad and started living there. On one occasion, our Ramesh went to Hyderabad on some work. Then what happens generally? When we go Hyderabad, it's quite common to meet our friends. Right or not? In the same way, Ramesh also wanted to meet Suresh. But Suresh was unavailable. Suresh could not meet Ramesh. He could not meet because of his busy schedule, because of his office work. He could not meet. With a great disappointment, in grief, with a great dissatisfaction, our Ramesh returned without meeting his friend to his village. Our Suresh who lives in Hyderabad knows it. What did he know? That his friend sorry. See, this Ramesh, so a small clarification for you. Suresh, this is Ramesh. That means who is writing? Ramesh writing letter. Ramesh lives in Hyderabad. Ramesh lives in Hyderabad. Suresh lives in village. Right, good. Suresh went to Hyderabad, but Ramesh was not in the position to meet his friend Suresh. So, he too felt sorry for not meeting his friend. So, immediately he wrote a letter. To Suresh. Immediately he wrote a letter to Suresh. What did he write? Suresh, this is Ramesh. I am very happy on hearing on knowing that you have come to Hyderabad. But I felt very sorry for not meeting you. You know that city life is very critical. City life is very busy. We have no time to do anything. You know, I have been an employee of software company. My wife too works in a software company as a system analyst, whereas I am working as a computer programmer. My wife works in Dell company. See, both are busy. Early morning we wake up and leave our baby at the baby care center. In the evening, we return with faded faces, again collecting our baby from the baby care center. How worst this life is, how mechanical this life is. I remember our olden days, how happy those days were. We play together, we run together, we swim together in the local tank on Sundays, while my grandmother used to serve, some snacks, and at night she used to tell some fairy stories, bedtime stories, fairy tales. I am telling fairy tales. What is meant by fairy tales? Fairy tales means the stories which involve some fairies, angels, and what we call some magic is there. Abracadabra, Om Bimbish. That type of fairy stories we listen from our grandmother. Bedtime stories are there. How beautiful and how happy days those were. I remember all of them. But what is here, my friend? We live in an apartment. This apartment is very congested. This apartment is a world. We don't know what is happening outer world. We are like frog in the wells. We are like frog in the wells. We are like frog in the wells. What does this expression frog in the well means? There is a story for us. A frog lives in well. Frogs live in wells. It does not know the outer world. And it feels the entire world is only this well. Beyond the well, there is nothing. The frog feels like that. Our situation now is also like the same. Our apartment is the world for us. We are living a mechanical life, a congested life. We are living like frog in the wells. I feel very sorry for not meeting you. Even you visited Hyderabad because I was an urgent meeting in the office. So I could not come out. I could not meet you. But still, those memories were in my mind. the days how we spent together happily. I still remember the day when we won first prize in the district science fair. Our class teacher Padmanabhaya sir appreciated us. How happy it is, how happy we feel on the day. Still that prizing, that appreciation fresh in my mind. We visited Kolisagar. We went on boating. We went to Srisalam. These are all memorable things to us. How happily we spent together, visiting places, getting prizes, going to school, sitting next to each other. The appreciations from our teachers, these are all still in my mind. I feel very happy for our past days. I still remember how beautiful those days were. On the occasions of festivals, our uncles used to come to us and they bring some toys, some sweets for us. On seeing them, our hearts bubbling with joy. Our happiness knows no boundaries to it. Still those incidents are fresh in my mind. Remember Diwali. I still remember Diwali in my mind. How we celebrate Diwali in a grand manner. Our aunt comes and she buys a dress for us. I feel very happy. Where are those days now? Who are giving those type of presents? Who are visiting us now? The rockets flying in the sky, the crackers were bursting and making the sky brighter. Still those Diwali, that Diwali is fresh in my mind. Nowadays, the present generation of children, where they can enjoy these little enjoyments, they haven't got, they can't get even the parental care, even the love of parents. See, in case of my son, what is happening? My son is left at baby care center in the morning and he was collected in the evening. So, as a thing we are treating him. There is no difference between a machine and human being. Our lives have become mechanical. Our lives have become mechanical. We work at computers. We live with computers. We think like computers. So, we too become mechanical. Having no interest. Like a machine we are living. No, my dear friend. I am not satisfied with this life. I don't like this way of living. But I am forced to live like this. Look at my son. He always sits before the computer. He plays with it. He never answers to our calls. Simply associated with computer. For him, there is no difference between uncle and neighbor. That means, actually, uncle, this is a crazy word. This is a crazy word nowadays. Why? Because we use it to call, we use it to address all. Simply uncle, 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 uncle. or aunt, auntie, 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 auntie. Actually, there is no relation between them and us. We used to call like so. Of course, it may not be wrong, but our own uncle, our maternal uncle, is totally different from others, from other outside uncles. We have to distinguish them. We have to identify the difference between these two. But my son have no distinction between those two. For him, his own uncle and neighbor uncle, the same. My dear friend, I am very, very sorry for not meeting you. Again I am expressing how feel bad. Even when you come to Hyderabad, just not enough time to meet you. That's why, my friend, I am writing this letter. That's why, my friend, I am writing this letter, expressing my inability, my excuses for not meeting you. But I feel very happy. What for? My dear students, guess what he is saying. He feels sad. He feels sorrow. He feels disappointed for one thing. What's it? For not meeting his friend. But expressing his inability, expressing his sorrow, expressing his grief, expressing his disappointment, expressing his vexation, among all these expressions, he is saying, I am happy. I feel happy. Why? Just think. Can anybody guess? No? Okay, I tell. To have time to write this letter for you. See what he is telling? To have time to write this letter. To have time to write this letter. Just from this dialogue, we can understand the miserable life, the busy life, the mechanical life of a city dweller. Here not only Ramesh, a city dweller. City dweller means those who live in cities. This is not the problem of only a particular man, either Ramesh or some other. This is the problem of all the city dwellers. All are suffering. All are leading mechanical life. All are losing their intentions, their interests. Just they feel whether they wake up in the morning, whether they are going to offices, whether they are returning homes, whether they eat, whether they sleep, it's enough. Their life is going on. They are leading their life, missing all little joys Just in those days, children used to play in the open air, kabaddi, gilli danda, hide and seek. So many games they used to play, which provide physical exercise to the children, which provide mental strength to children, which makes a sporting spirit, which makes us to have a sporting spirit in them. You know very well, in the games one person wins and another person loses, but the loser never feels. The winner may be happy, but he never humiliates the loser. So by playing games, we can have the balancing mind, and we can take into our mind the failure with a great balance. It develops us some fighting spirit. Nowadays, what the students are doing, they are limited to indoor games. There are no outdoor games for us. There is no physical exercise for them. There is no balance of mind for them. They can't bear the failure just because of playing on mobiles, playing on video games. That too, what type of video games they are playing? All resort to violence, shooting, arrowing, killing. What all these video games create in the minds of the young students? Violence, the idea of killing. They don't create a balancing mind. They don't create any fighting spirit. They can't take failure into their minds. So that nowadays we come across so many suicides, especially young ones. Just mother scolds, she commits suicide. Teacher beats, commits suicide. Just fail in the examination, commits suicide. And failing in some other thing, he commits suicide. Why all this happening? Means because of having no strong mind, because of having no strength, because of having no fighting spirit, because of taking the failure as victory. With a balance, we treat both the victory and failure in a balanced way. We should not feel proud of victory. We should not lose hurt of failure. If students, you learn, if you keep into your mind failures are stepping stones to success, then you never resort to these type of ill feelings. Yes, you know very well. Great people also not achieved their goal in single attempt or first attempt. Repeatedly after trying and trying and trying, facing so many problems, so many failures, finally they reached success. They got success. So my dear students, what I am telling is, you have to develop. Finally, I conclude. You have to develop fighting spirit. You have to develop taking both victory and failure in a balanced mind, and not to resort to mechanical life. You have to enjoy the little enjoyments. You should not adopt to or addict to the cell phones, and be reality. You try to understand the reality and always be in the real world, but not to the fantasy world. Thank you.